What's going on, y'all? Got some things on my chest that I want to talk about. That's why I titled this section "Let's Talk About It." I have some points that I want to try to discuss. Don't have a speech written, but I do have some points. I'm not going to try to belabor this entire video and make it too long, so I may have to cut some of these points off. But I did want to start just expressing some of my concerns of common sense. Anytime we start talking about politics or individuals, emotions get involved. So I'm going to try to express concepts and leave individuals out as much as possible. So I'll start off by saying that a few things that I want to talk about is Channel 13 News, Alief ISD, Donald Trump, Dr. Lane, who is the president of TSU, post-election seasons, the Astros, and maybe a little show and tell. Now, I posted earlier today that people need to start arguing and debating policies and procedures and not the individuals. I'll give an example of what I'm talking about. Since I'm in education and we all are from education, derived from education, we'll go back to elementary school. If A plus B equals C, then C minus B must equal A, right? Correct? If A plus B equals C, then C minus B must equal A. So I haven't weighed in on the Donald Trump thing and been posting all this about his acquittal or whatever because I figured it would happen. So that's not my concern. My concern is for those individuals that support his acquittal, that stand behind his innocence. I would like for that same vigor to be expressed for individuals who are not Donald Trump, who don't look like Donald Trump, who don't have Donald Trump's money, who is not in political office. If A plus B equals C, right? If you cannot call witnesses and you would invigorously say that Donald Trump is innocent, then if an individual of no wealth or of minority descent is acquitted of a crime, then they should be held to the same standard of innocence that our president is being held to. If A plus B equals C, then C minus B must equal A. Channel 13 News has been a frustrating source for me for a while in one area only. I love Channel 13. I watch Channel 13 every day. However, when it comes to reporting on education, they doggedly go after HISD. If somebody in HISD sneezes in the dark, they report on it. If somebody in HISD accidentally runs over a cockroach in their car, they report on it. However, Alief ISD gets zero mentions in Channel 13 News unless it's a positive puff piece that's spoken. It bothered me to be in the accountability meeting. And you can go on Alief's website if you weren't in the board meeting, which many of you weren't because I'm the only one sitting in those board meetings. In the accountability meeting, they kind of brushed past the fact that there were 17 reports of violent criminal incidents from 2018 to 2019 school district. Let me repeat that. 17 violent criminal incidents. Now I'm going to pause and allow you to reflect back on how many times you heard of any one of these 17 violent criminal incidences reported at Alief ISD. I'll wait. Exactly, none. But had 17 violent criminal incidents occurred in HISD, you would have heard about every single one of them. My second concern is that I have two children in the school district. One of which, it shows here that an assault of someone other than school staff, Taylor High School, where my son goes to school and went to school and graduated from during this time, had 2 incidents. Ask me how many parent letters I received about these violent incidents. 0. Ask me how many robocalls I received about these alleged 2 violent incidences on Taylor High School. 0. So, Here we go, 1 year later, one academic school year later, and we got 17 occurrences, 3 of which are guns on campus. The other 14 are assaults of someone other than the school staff. Why is this not reported? Why is this not reported to the news? Why is this not reported on the news? Why is this not reported to the parents? See, knowledge. I talk about knowledge. Alief ISD, when you go to the school board meetings, the administrators and the school board trustees like to say that they're the experts. They're the experts. But the problem with being the expert is they want to take credit, but nobody wants to take the blame. If you are always in the forefront to take the credit, then guess what? When things go wrong, that too is your fault, right? Because if A plus B equals C, then C minus B must equal A. If you always taking credit for the positive things that allegedly go on, then you must take credit for the negative things that allegedly go on. It's not rocket science, right? So, Alief ISD never reported these 17 violent incidences to parents, community members, and I challenge you to go on Google and see if you can find any news reports on Channel 13's website about anything other than the CTE Center being a great place for our students to have a career opportunity at. Being inconsistent is discriminatory. Dr. Lane was on the news today, and I honestly don't know whether he did something wrong or whether he's innocent or not. But what I can tell you is that the process in which he's being judged on is not right. The process, right? So if the process is not right, think about illegal search, right? The police pull you over, right? And you have something that illegal in your vehicle, but they pulled you over. They did not have a reason to pull you over. Guess what? That case gets thrown out despite the fact that you may have had something illegal in your vehicle because the process was not right. Regardless of whether Dr. Lane did something or not at TSU, his process is not right. So that in itself must throw his situation out. He's grieving the process, not the allegations, right? Because he's saying he's standing firm in his confidence that a due process will show him as being innocent. But he's not even receiving a due process according to what he's proven so far, the documentation. Like he said, they presented him 4 pages of allegations or 2 pages of allegations, and it took them months to put that together. He turned around the next day and put an 8-page document response together to their response. People do not waste their time fighting, vehemently fighting on something that they know that they did. And if they do, when a person is fighting with every fiber of their body, it should cause you to stop and at least pause and listen. Pause and question the process, the individual, the situation. Let me at least hear what this individual has to say, because not very many people fight that hard. So when an individual is fighting with their livelihood on the line, you owe them an opportunity to be at least heard, not found innocent or guilty, but at least heard, and let the process have its way, or let the courts have its way with the final decision. The application of knowledge is wisdom. And what I mean by that, going back to the experts, just because you're the expert on something doesn't mean that you're doing the right thing. I'll give you a prime example. I was getting a haircut the other week, and I was talking about the application of knowledge being wisdom. So I'll take everybody else out of it. I put myself into it. I rode my motorcycle to the barbershop, and I use this example. I know that wearing a helmet saves lives, right? I have a higher probability of not getting seriously hurt or killed when an individual wears a helmet on a motorcycle. That's knowledge, right? Wisdom is putting that helmet on and wearing it when you ride. I don't ride my cruiser with a helmet. So I have the knowledge, but I'm not displaying the wisdom of the knowledge that I know. Let me say that again. I have the knowledge. I know that wearing a helmet saves lives, but I'm not displaying wisdom because I don't wear a helmet when I ride my cruiser. So Just because someone is the expert on something, they have the knowledge, but if they're not implementing that knowledge, right, non-discriminatorily or biasly, then they're not displaying wisdom. Hypocritical reporting. And I talked about the Channel 13 reporting if a fly lands on the wall at HISD, but never reporting these 17 incidences or any other incident for that matter of Alief ISD. So when you instead of arguing people about being a Republican or a Democrat or whether Trump did anything illegal, argue the process, right? If Trump is innocent, then that means these individuals are innocent as well, or these individuals deserve the same level of innocence as our president has been afforded. Those are the things that we need to argue. Stop talking about Democrat or Republican, because people automatically put their walls up and they want to wholeheartedly believe that all Republicans are right or all Democrats are right or Trump is all wrong or Trump is all right. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't agree with 100% of everything that I do. So anytime I see someone that wholeheartedly supports someone or something 100% of the time or without question or judgment, I don't listen to those individuals. As a matter of fact, I have concerns about those individuals that will so blindly follow an ideology or a rule or a person. So debate the process and procedures and not the individuals. It's not rocket science. It's really common sense. When I was in this last board workshop, they were talking about district priorities in Alief. And they got to the social studies district priorities, which was the last one. And you can go to the Alief ISD website and watch the 3-hour video if you want yourself. So I'm telling you exactly where and go to find the information. Trust but verify. Don't take my word for it. Trust but verify. But the district priority for social studies was to get the community more involved and engaged in voting and those type of things. And I sat back and I almost fell out of my chair. The district priority for social studies throughout Alief is to get the community more involved in voting and politics and government. It was February 2nd we had this meeting. Alief ISD just had an election in November. I go to every single board meeting. Not once did they mention that the district was having an election for the school board. Not once did they mention that they were having an election for the city council, right? So this caused me to believe that their wisdom doesn't, their knowledge doesn't add up with their wisdom. You're saying one thing, but you're doing something else. They talked about their initiatives to have voter registrations. Again, my son went to Taylor High School. I don't remember receiving any voter registration information. I don't remember them saying, we can't tell you who to vote for this upcoming school board election, but we will tell you that it is very important that our Alief, Hastings, Elsick, Taylor, Kerr, and ALC get involved in the election process. Let your voice be heard. I don't remember hearing any of that. So now that the election is over with, now you want to give the impression that voting is the district's priority in social studies. I have a problem with that. Get with the times. There was a first negative news report that I seen on Channel 13 was about this family yesterday. This mom, her son was kicked out of school for wearing earrings, and the policy stated that boys could not wear earrings. This is the same thing that happened with the DeAndre Hopkins situation. The policy is outdated. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. When I was in high school, I think the Barber Hills policy is like 30 years old. The Alief ISD policy and procedures about earrings is like 7 years old. So just to break that down into, because I'm a visual type person, I'll show you what I'm talking about. When I was in high school, if you had one of these, right, it had a negative connotation. This is a beeper, a pager. It had a negative connotation. I remember when I got my first pager, people were like, why you need that? You're not a drug dealer. People gonna think you sold drugs. And it was just a a cool thing to have. This was our way of communicating. If you needed them, you dialed 911. You didn't have a phone to call them back. And then I remember they went from these these pagers, right? And then when you really got fancy, you got one of these. Can you see it? Motorola, right? You were really big time when you got one of these, right? Then later on, I remember I got my first cell phone, right? Houston Cellular. It was like $3 a call per minute, like $3 per minute for a call, right? This is when I was in high school. Back when our parents was riding horses and stuff or whatever, our grandparents were riding horses. See what this is? It's a pocket watch, right? Pocket watch, back in the day. I remember when the Kappa Beach Party was a thing and you went out and you played basketball and you video recorded everything, right? That's what was happening when I was growing up, when some policies and procedures were written. But all these things I just showed you, this is my daughter, 12 years old, 7th grade. All those things I just showed you is obsolete. So imagine going to school and having a policy written for your kid for one of these, but technology has brought us this far. Debate the policies. Get the policies updated. It's not the individuals that we need to be focused on. Yeah, I'm glad that DeAndre is gone on all these shows and all this, but guess what? There's thousands of more kids in the district that need his help, right? We don't need the $20,000. We need the policy change. We don't need him being a springboard for a politician's campaign wagon. We need the change in the school district. So stop debating the individuals or glorifying the individuals or vilifying the individuals and work on debating the process and procedures. Get with the times. Another concern that I have, and I'm going to try to wrap this up real soon. A lot of people were running for the school board. They stated what their concerns were and why they were so passionate about running for the school board. And all of them but one showed up to the lottery where they draw your names to select where you go on the ballot. Now that the school board election is over with, not a single one of those individuals outside of myself has showed up to a school board meeting. More importantly, my attendance at the school board meetings, at the workshops, at the committee meetings is higher and in better shape than the school board members themselves. I'm not debating the individuals, I'm debating the policies. President Ann Williams stated at the last board workshop on February 2nd that she was tired. She's sorry she can't think, or she's sorry that her questions came off so aggressive because she was tired. And I took offense to that. One, nobody cares that you're tired because you volunteered to get on the school board again after doing it for 12 years. So you being tired has nothing to do with your commitment that you stated that you were in alignment to do again. Second of all, parents are tired, but you don't make excuses for them about why they can't get to the school board meetings because they're working 2 or 3 jobs to make a living, or they're on the bus and can barely get there in enough time. So the application of knowledge doesn't line up. If A plus B equals C for President Trustee Ann Williams, then C minus B must equal A for the community. That's not happening. I have a problem with that. We had a school board trustee, Jennifer Key, come up to the mic. She left the diocese, came down and represented herself as a community member and named a community member, me, about legal fees for filing grievances. And I was the only one that clapped when she finished her statement. And I meant that in all sincerity. Because if you are questioning the district spending legal fees on me, grieving the district, then I want you to look into the policies and procedures as well as the practices of the district for how they spend all of their tax money on grievances and fighting community members. Not just Damon Barone, all of them. So I was rooting for the how can I say it? The formula. I was like, she finally got it. Somebody finally got it. A plus B equals C. Then by deductive reasoning, C minus B is going to equal A. But that wasn't what happened, because it was a personal attack on Damon Barone and not a policy and procedure attack on Alief ISD the way that it should have been. So that in itself is a situation. So I go back to, again, where are these individuals that had concerns and had so much love for the community and the district when the election process was going on? Even the school board members themselves had so much time to be on the school board, work, be full-time parents, and campaign at the same time. So you weren't tired when you were campaigning. Now that the campaign season is over with, you're tired when you're just being a regular school board trustee again. I have a problem with that. So where are we at? We got to get the community in these school board meetings to change the policies and procedures, to get our voices being heard, to ask these questions. As an educator, imagine we've all been in school, whether it be elementary school, continuous education, or college. Imagine walking into the classroom and the professor or the teacher, before they even tell you anything, says, raise your hand if you got any questions. You sit up there, you ask your question. They say, okay, well, now that you've asked your question, I'm not going to respond to your question, right? I just want to hear your question. I'm not going to respond to your question. And then you can't ask any additional questions. Now I'm going to teach my lesson. And you sit there for 2 hours or 3 hours, let me teach my lesson, and then I'm going to dismiss you. Do you see how foolish that sounds? Now, this is coming from the experts in education. When I say the experts, I'm talking about Alief ISD administrators, Alief ISD school boards. Now, let's take that back. Doesn't make sense in the real world, so it shouldn't make sense in the school board meetings. If you watch every last one of those school board meetings, they allow the public to talk. When I say public, I'm really talking about me. So I give patron presentation, and I talk about one of the agenda items, which the board and the administration never respond back to. Then they have their meeting to discuss the things that they have on the agenda. So of course now, not only do I have the questions that I originally have, I have a whole bunch of questions based off the shim that you just provided during this 2 hour, 3 hour long meeting. But I don't get a chance to have a follow-up meeting, nor do you respond to my original concerns. You let me walk out the door and have a nice day and show up at the very next month with new comments about the new posted agenda. Do you see how ridiculous that sounds? But that happens every single month at school board meetings. We're going to take your questions first, question and comments. We're going to let you sit down. Then Mr. Barone, we're not going to address any of your concerns or issues as a taxpayer, parent, alumnus, and community member. That's ridiculous. But we're the experts on education. So imagine again, going into a classroom, your child going into a classroom, the teacher saying, raise your hand if you got any questions. Only 2 kids out of 24 raise their hand and got a question. They don't address those questions. The teacher teaches the lesson and they send them on their way. That's ridiculous. So it doesn't make sense in the real world. Why does it make sense in the boardroom? I think I pretty much almost... Oh, you don't love us anymore. That was one of the comments, you don't love us anymore. It's funny how during election time, elected officials or wannabe elected officials go out and they want to take pictures with you, and during the breaks in the school board meetings, they want to come down and talk to you and shake your hand and ask you what's going on. Make sure you come and vote for me. Let me tell you what my platform is, and let me tell you what I got going on. But once they get into the seat, they no longer want to tell you what their platform is. They no longer want to shake your hand. They're no longer interested in your phone calls or your emails. They're no longer reaching out to you, robocalling you, asking, can you vote for them or support them? They're no longer telling you to come to the school board meetings. They're no longer telling you to be involved in the election process. They're no longer telling you the hot issues that's going to be discussed at this meeting on Friday or Thursday at 7:30 p.m. They're no longer doing that. So y'all don't love us no more once you get elected. I got a problem with that, and you should too. So I'll just run down my list and make sure I hit everything. I got let's talk about it. KTRK, Channel 13 News, Alief ISD, Donald Trump, Dr. Lane at TSU, post-election season. Oh, the Astros. I left one off. The Astros. Now, this is another one of those things that if A plus B equals C, then C minus B equals A. And then when I go to talk about leave out the individuals, you got individuals that doggedly went after the New England Patriots for cheating, right? Oh, they cheating and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Cheating. I agree with you. If you cheat, you get caught, you get in trouble, right? If they cheated, if they got caught or they admitted, they should get in trouble. So they go on and on and on. Same individuals, same type of individuals, same type of Trump supporting mentality. And I hate to say it like that, but Trump supporting mentality, quiet in the news about the Astros cheating. Ain't nobody talk. I haven't heard a single person say they should take their rings back. They should, right? They should. If they did one game and they cheated, that one game contributed to them going to the World Series. So they deserve to have their title stripped from them. But don't nobody want to talk about it because they're the hometown team. If A plus B equals C, then C minus B must equal A. You cheated one time, you admit it, you need to have your title stripped. Because guess what? If I take a test to become, everyone knows that I want to seek law school. If I cheat on my test and I cheated for one question, guess what they're going to do? They're going to throw my whole test out. They're not going to say, well, he only cheated on this question, so he really scored more points than he needed even without this question, so we'll still give him his law degree. It doesn't work like that in the real world. So we got to stop supporting teams. We got to stop supporting individuals, whether it's the president, whether it's our home team, whether it's your home team. We got to stop supporting administration in Alief ISD. We got to stop supporting news stories. We got to stop supporting individuals. We got to stop supporting our kind because, oh, they're black like us, or oh, they're female like us, or oh, they're the first, they're Hispanic like us, or oh, they're Asian like us, or oh, they're the first black, white, or Asian individuals. It shouldn't matter. If you're doing the right thing, that's what we got to start supporting. We got to stop supporting the knowledge and support the wisdom. I'm tired of people, oh, I'm the first black this, I'm the first Hispanic this. That shouldn't be why we should be voting for. You shouldn't be voting. I don't want black votes because I'm a black male running for the school board. I don't want parental votes because I'm a parent with children in the school district. I want you to vote for me because my record shows that, one, I can do the work. Two, I'm willing to do the work. Not only do I have the knowledge, but I display the wisdom, and my values and work ethics line up with what you need to get our community what it deserves. That's the way we ought to start thinking. That's the way we got to start doing business. So KTRK, Channel 13 News, Alief ISD, Donald Trump, Dr. Lane at TSU, post-election season, Astros, show and tell. I did show and tell, right? We got to start changing policies, right? Focus on the policies. When I was in school, this was data, this was communication. Now it's this. So if your policies were written during this era, then they never even knew that this type of situation was going to occur. We got watches that talk now. They didn't have that when this was going on. They didn't even have that when these cell phones were in place. So we got to start arguing and fighting to get policies updated. Not the policies that the administration want to have updated, from being able to fire teachers within 10 days of the school year ending versus 45 days. We got to start fighting policies that we care about, policies that affect the community, because they're always going to have their best interests at heart. When you don't show up at the school board meetings, decisions are being made for you. When you don't show up at the city council meetings, decisions are being made for you. And that's how these type of policies continue to stay on the books for 7 years and 30 years, and other policies which benefit them in their pockets and their ideologies or their platforms leapfrog over your best interests and community. So if A plus B equals C, then C minus B must equal A. If y'all the experts, start acting like experts. if you're going to take the shine, right, for the positive things, then you got to be willing to take the credit for the negative things as well. The application of knowledge is wisdom. Being inconsistent is discriminatory. Let me say that again. Being inconsistent is discriminatory. If I give 20 children a test and 19 of them got A for number one and 3 of them got B, but I say everybody got the right answer, then I'm discriminating. I've just given 3 individuals the same points that I've given someone else. I'll give you a prime example. Robert Greene's situation. Teacher Robert Greene at Alief ISD. Vilified, embarrassed, terminated. Right? You got Mr. I forget the gentleman's name off the top of my head now. I just drew a blank. At O'Donnell. Right? Not vilified. Not saying Andy Velasquez. Not vilified. Not saying anything. Keep him in the school. Got his job. Right? How is that possible? Similarly situated. That's discriminatory, right? So, not being consistent in policies on procedure, even if you're wrong, if you're consistently wrong, that's not discriminatory. That just means we need to go back and tweak some things. But if number one is A sometimes, and then other times answer is B, that's discriminatory because there's only one right answer. We're either going to be all wrong or all right. If we're all wrong, then that's just an adjustment. We go back and say, okay, well, we got it all wrong. We'll go back and tweak our policies. We'll go back and tweak our procedures. We'll go back and tweak our understanding because obviously we're missing something. But if it's going like this, that's discriminatory. Hypocritical reporting, that's channel 13. Debate the process and procedures, not the individuals. It's not rocket science. It's really just common sense. Everything that I talked about today should really just be common sense. You don't love us anymore. That's politicians campaigning that you see them so much when it's time for elections or when they decide if they want to run for something, you're going to see them out in the forefront. But once they get in their seat, you don't see them no more. You don't really matter. Don't insult our intelligence. I mean, stop telling us you're the experts, but we can clearly see that you don't give a damn about our community. You don't give a damn about our children, right? When it says all community members, it means all of them, not just the community members that you like, not just the parents that you like, not just the community members that agree with what you're saying, not just the parents that agree with what you're saying. In other words, all. That includes Damon Barone. If you can't stand me coming to every single school board meeting and stressing my concerns about what's going on in the district, guess what? I'm still a part of that all. And anybody else that follows the grievance process, that follows the grievance procedures. So don't insult our intelligence. Get with the times. Get with the times. Where y'all at? Where's everybody again that was running for elections? Where's everybody at that was super involved and motivated, hired a lot of energy and time and money and resources when they were running for an office position? And last but not least, always ask, where can I find that information at? Don't let them quote information to you, right? And I'm specifically talking about Alief ISD and the school board. If they telling you that if they tell you that we didn't have any violent incidences, where can I go and find that report? Here's the report right here. You read that for yourself, right? What does it say? 17. So trust but verify. 14. Your kid's school on this report, right? Don't take my word for it. Where can I find the information at? So this is Alief ISD School District report on violence or criminal incidences 2018 to 2019. You can find it on the Alief ISD website in their 2018-2019 annual performance report. And I'll even go as far as telling you that this particular report is on page 35. Let me say that again, page 35. Because I don't talk about things that I don't fully bet my time into. I'm not just going to tell you how I feel. I'm going to tell you what I know. So that's that. Let's talk about it. Love to see your comments. Sorry if it ended up being a long video. I really didn't intend for it to be this long, but I had a lot on my chest. Again, I'm not here to debate Donald Trump's innocence. I'm not here to debate whether the Astros should lose their championship. I'm not here to debate whether you're Republican or Democrat. All I'm simply saying is, if A plus B equals C, then C minus B must equal A. And if A plus B equals C for this situation, then it damn sure should be A plus B should equal C for this situation as well. That's all I'm saying. Regardless of your political beliefs, regardless of whether you love Donald Trump or hate Donald Trump, regardless of if you love the Astros or even watch baseball, A plus B should always equal C. And in reverse, C minus B should always equal A. And if they don't, you are discriminating. And it has nothing to do with color, creed, or anything else. Policies and procedures. Damon Barone, Alief ISD taxpayer, Alief ISD parent, Alief ISD alumnus.